So I will ditch the microphone probably. I have a strong voice. I'm a trained theater actor, so I think you can you hear me in the back? Yeah? Okay. No. Okay, thank you.
What, you're an actor?
So, theater actor, yes. Long time ago. So can I have some hands? Who's in a committed relationship right now? Okay, good. Can people, no, please give it up. Keep the hands up. Now please put your hand down if you are under 3 years. Okay? Under 5? Under 10? Some veterans here, okay, good, fantastic. So very few relationships, like I thought, longer than 3 years, 4, 5 years. Maybe my talk that would be a goal can change that, because I'm right now coming up to 10 years, and it's a very odd thing for a pickup artist, because that's what I used to do, and now I have a 10-year relationship, and this is my new passion. I taught guys how to pick up chicks for a long time, and I still do. But I say, like, picking up chicks is like junior level, and keeping and sustaining a relationship 10 years, that's like pro level. So we have very limited time to cover the very complex topic of relationship between man and woman. It's really complex, and I'm still, also even though that I coach it, still studying myself. I'm super fascinated with all the dynamics that are going on, and I will share some of my insights. What I discovered myself and with my clients and with, studying, basically. So I will give you 10 rules for an exceptional relationship. A lot of them go totally against what people tell you about relationship. That's the first problem that messes up a lot of relationships, the expectations. Some facts about me, if you don't know: founder of first German seduction company in 2006. I wrote 3 bestsellers in the very renowned publisher Heine. One was #1 on Amazon in books for men. And I coached basically thousands of men, held hundreds of workshops, a lot of one-on-one coaching. That's my passion. I love to work with men. I work from now exclusively with men. That doesn't means that I never will work with women, but that's just how I do. I think that's like a niche. And also people try to get to me because when you want to improve as a man, you have basically the option like super woo-woo esoteric workshops, and for most people I know that's not what they like. And so they like to work with me. And I'm kind of a men's rights activist since 2015. Who follows my YouTube channel knows I do a lot of anti-feminism stuff. So because the room doesn't know me, this doesn't mean I'm against women's rights. I'm just against feminism in its form, in its modern form. And it's also connected to my work because it puts a lot of stress between the genders, a lot of fights that wouldn't be necessary, and brainwashes women to become like opponents of men instead of supporters of men or lovers of men. Yeah, it's funny, we need a license nearly for everything, especially in Germany. Yeah, like driver license, you even need a fishing license in Germany if you want to fish. Yeah, but for relationships, what is on my watch the most insane and hardest thing in the world to really make it happen, that 2 persons spend their whole life together with each other and are happy and not miserable with it, you know? That's like the hardest, insane thing you could possibly do. But we think, yeah, this will work. We just have to find the one, and we go along, and that will work. Even otherwise intelligent people think they just have to find the one. This amazes me. It's so stupid. You just have to find your soulmate, and then you get a relationship is broken, and you say, oh, then he wasn't the one. Maybe the next is the one, or the next person. It's crazy. The one is like this creature. Yeah, it's beautiful, but it doesn't exist. There is no one. Everybody can be your one. You are responsible for your relationship like you're responsible for your business. It's not like you just have to meet the right person and then you have no conflicts. And from whom do we learn how to lead our great relationships? Our parents. society in general, other couples, the media, and the worst and evil and damaging of them all, romantic comedy. I don't know how many relationships have been destroyed by romantic comedy. Who paints this picture, even for men, I used to believe the bullshit too, that like you can be the biggest nerd, but if you just humiliate yourself enough in front of a woman, she will suddenly give in and say, now I ditch all the bad boys, all the alpha guys for you, because you truly love me. And then they are happily ever after. Yeah, well. We all know how great these teachers are. Most relationships last 2 or 3 years, and with a divorce rate in Germany of over 40%. In the US, it's over 50%. But feel what? I have studied relationships for the last years like nobody else, so let's get into it. First rule, fantastic relationships don't happen, they get created. Both partners need to be ready to work on themselves and the relationship constantly and try for the best relationship they could have. Work for the relationships mustn't be a hard thing, it can be fun. You know, it's not like, oh, we need to work on our relationship. No, it's like when you have a business, you don't start a business and think, now it just goes. Yeah, you do improve there a little bit and then there, and you talk about your business partner with this, and you argue another plan. You know, it's a constantly evolving thing, your relationship. It should be. And so it needs also care, like a plant. You cannot just run it on the side. Number 2, they need time. Fantastic relationships will get better with time, not worse. If they're getting worse, you're doing something wrong. Yeah, and that's unfortunately the way it goes for most couples. They start all lovey and bubbly, and oh, everything is perfect, and then yeah, it's not so perfect. And now it's shit, but maybe we get through it. Now it's even worse. When we are married, we have to keep together. And that's not what fantastic relationships are made of. They get better with time. You know, I work with my girlfriend. I live with her. Yeah, we basically spend 24 hours 7 with each other. Most people would have killed each other, most couples at this time. But not us, because we done a lot of work on ourselves and our relationships. And I love to hang out with my girlfriend. Most guys kind of go back to their home, but they don't really love to hang out with their wife or with their spouse, unfortunately. If they want to have fun, they go out with their friends or something. But yeah, they kind of go spend time with their wife, but it's not really something that they are looking forward to. I'm looking forward to it. When I'm 3 days away, I love it, but I'm looking forward to meet my girlfriend again. They need the capability of both partners to switch to the meta position at any time. So we have a lot of bright minds, so NLP is nothing strange to most of you. What does it mean? In every relationship you have conflict. And what happens is most time you have like 2 parties who fight with each other. That's how it goes. And that's okay. Nobody can do anything against this if you are in your emotion. But you need the capability, maybe after the fight, to switch in a position and look at you as a couple. What's happening here? Why are we fighting like the millionth time over this little petty thing? What lies under the conflict? So that you both, as a couple, go into an investigation and you look from the meta position, okay, what is my wife feeling? What am I feeling in the position? Yeah, you work as a counselor for yourself, and that's possible. Like I said, not when you're in the fight yourself, because then emotions are flying. But after the fight, you can analyze and you can improve. What you need too is a healthy pragmatism and the rejection from both partners of romantic bullshit. That's especially a challenge for women who get brainwashed by romantic comedy, you know? Relationships is not all every day in love and bubbly and romantic dinners all the time. Relationship is working together as a unity against the bullshit of the world, your own bullshit. Sometimes it's boring because you have to leave just work and care for the kids. And that's okay as long as you work together as a couple and you don't think it should be different. Yeah, but here, everything we see, these romantic movies, why are we not like this? Why don't we have crazy sex 3 times in the week and stuff? Always is comparing to other mythical couples that also don't exist. Yeah, there's one very bright other coach said, the couples who speak the most about their sex life, that's when you know there's nothing going on. Or they would keep it to themselves and they would brag, yeah, we do it like 4 times a week, blah, blah, blah. And probably there's nothing going on. Willingness of lifelong growing and learning together as a couple, but also as an individual person, and giving your partner also the room to do this. A lot of couples are super clingy. This is also more men have to struggle with than women. The man wants to go on some retreat himself, or wants to make some study, a business, and the wife is basically always saying, no, you have to stay here. You have to stay in your family. Spend time with your family. Yeah? And that's not good, because this also enriches the relationship. You do your thing, your wife does her thing. Yeah, you come back and you can talk about it and say, oh, this was an exciting retreat for me. You don't have to force your partner into yoga if he does give no shit. Or otherwise into football. Go alone to football with your friends. Come back and tell her how awesome the game was, and she tells you about her yoga retreat. Yeah? Why not? So give yourself some room. That's you can breathe in the relationship, you can grow, and you will be happily come together and enjoy your time far more together. Learning to fight and learning from your fights. First of all, acceptance that fights are the reality of all relationships and learning to make the best out of it. If you're not fighting sometimes with your partner, most of the time something very deep is going on, very deep psychological issues. Yeah, because one of you suppresses his emotions super hard, or is just not afraid to voice his opinion on stuff. It's not natural not to fight. I mean, you even fight with your roommates. Yeah? So how can you expect not to fight with the person? You live together, you have children live together, you have a household together. It's natural, and it's nothing if we failed as a couple because we have fought again. No, just learn about it. Like I told before. Learn how to fight to avoid some traps maybe, that it doesn't escalate like flying cups or stuff, you know? And then learn to investigate what is happening here and how can we solve this issue once and for all. Another one, willingness to forgive and forget your wrongdoings to each other. It's another big one, especially for women. Yeah, this is, guys, if you live together for 5 years or 7 years, you will fuck up. We are not perfect people. You will cheat. Probably you will lose a lot of money in some stupid scam and hurt your family and stuff. Yeah, you will fuck up. It's not possible that you don't fuck up. But what you can do with this fuck ups is this. What does this Garrett and woman have in common? Sorry, a little woman bashing must be in all my talks. To even out the scale all the media bullshit. They collect shit. They carry it around all the time. And it gets bigger and bigger. Everything gets pulled out, and they even have different cups for each part of shit you have done wrong. So for this talking point, for this issue, they grab to this cupboard and say, look at this shit, what you did 4 years ago, 4 years ago. Then you said this to me. And then they have this cup for this issue, they collect it. And it gets bigger and bigger. And guess what? If it's too big, you can't move anymore. Your relationship cannot move. Stay on this one rule for fights. Stay on the fucking point. Stay on this issue. And if the issue is deeper than this point, then get a schedule, get a time, say, okay, we talk about household issues this time together as a couple, blah, blah, blah. But don't get your wrongdoings, even it's like weapons you pull out. Yeah, now I have this shit that you've done for 3 years, and then I give you this complaint, what you did for 4 years. It's like a challenge. Yeah? So this one's very important too, because it's so against the mainstream media and the narrative. Realizing that both sexes feel, think, and act totally different. We're like different creatures from different planets. The willingness to embrace that fact and try to understand the other sex better. If you start with the proposition, my partner, because it's a politically correct thing, why does my woman doesn't understand this? Why doesn't she feel like this? Or women, he must understand it. He must read my mind, what I want. You can only lose. I think it's a beautiful thing that we have two sexes, and they are a great comparison to each other. They work perfectly again. Just 50 years, we try everything to fuck up this whole thing. And it's not working, it's showing in the numbers. So, no, your partner won't feel like you, and you won't probably feel like her. And some, you will also not understand. So why are you complaining? Well, this is the thing. Then ask, then try to learn. Don't expect that he finds out for himself. There's this one thing, I don't know if I have the board, maybe this is classic, yeah. Okay, just a quick excursus. So for example, generalization, yes, okay, please don't get pissed if you're a successful women entrepreneur. Yeah. So, for women and men, there's a totally different perspective. Like, when this is a relationship, for a woman, like all her focus, like it's her family, her child, this is her world. It's an inside view. Like when she goes to work and does something, that's good. But the most important thing for her is this circle, the family, the husband, the wife, the children. For a man, it's the opposite. This is a relationship, but his focus is always out of it. His mission, his business, his goals. He needs to go out of the relationship to come back to it again and recharge his energy. This is his haven. And for a woman, most of the time, this is her world. But a man, when you want to keep a man, he has to spend all the time in the relationship and he cannot go out, he cannot fulfill his business goals, his dreams. You will make him very unhappy. The same, when you force a woman out too much in the outside world, that's the reason why there are not many women CEOs with kids, it hurts her. And we see it with the statistics. Like women after feminism went miserable more and more each year. It's not natural to bring your kids to be a successful CEO and get your 7-month-year-old kid to some daycare. It hurts a woman if she admits it or not. But in the long time, I've spoken with many women, many couples. After a few years, they admitted that and see that it's wrong. It's just the biology of it. But if you don't understand it, the woman is always thinking, I had this fight with my girlfriend too. Why does he always want to be also away from me? Why is he going so much this place and that place? It must be he doesn't love me so much. Major misunderstanding. If you understand, a man must go out to come back, then this misunderstanding is not. That's one example how genders feel different. There's a lot of them. Living ideology free. So this is another one put on us by the media. As long as everybody steps up equally for the relationship, it is totally meaningless to discuss how much housework everybody does. This is such a bullshit discussion. As if the man is just laying there and enjoying a beer while the wife is cleaning and doing the stuff. No, most of the time he's working longer hours, or he's doing some insurance work in the time. Even in the 50s, I don't believe that the guys just said, let my wife work and I chill out here in the lounge. This puts such a big, bad bar on man, because we as men are naturally wired to be providers, to support our wife. But if you get railed up by the media and say, he's not doing 50% of the housework, something is going wrong in your relationship, he's an asshole, he's a macho, then you can't see what he's all doing for the relationship. I don't know how many people know the movie The Red Pill, and this was from a feminist who then investigated in the scene, and she said her relationship improved so much after she understood the focus of a man. And she was also like this. She gave a lot of shit to her husband, and then suddenly, she learned, she saw all the things he did for the relationship. So it's a very good thing. The Red Pill by an ex-feminist. You can see her transformation, how she speaks with a lot of men's rights activist, feminist, and how she changes in the process. Be a strong unity to the outside world. You never ever speak poorly about your partner in front of other people, and you always stand by his or her side, even if she or he has behaved badly. We had this here in Austria, this Strache case, you know. It's a bad thing, I understand, but if you stand in the public eye, then as a wife, you need to stand by your man. You can't give him shit in your household and can tell, what did you do? You sniffed cocaine, or did you cheat, or something. But for the outside world, it's hard enough. You need to stand by your side and solve your stuff inside the relationship. Also, this is just, we will never manage to do this. Everybody bitches about their partner sometimes. But just to keep it in mind that it's not healthy for your relationship, it doesn't do you any service. Because most of your friends will rail you up even more, saying, yeah, you're right, you gotta give him shit when you come back. Don't accept this behavior. So what is it worth? Why not speak with the person who is really important with your partner? Or a marriage counselor, a couple counselor who's on your side. So this is just this tip of the iceberg, obviously. I started relationships feverishly, like seduction back in the days, and condensed my knowledge to a 3-day workshop that I host on Mallorca 2 times a year. It's only for men right now. That's it. And keep it this way, but it is like this. This workshop will help and find you keep the woman of your dreams and lead a fantastic relationship with her for the rest of your life, if this is your goal. There's a saying, happy wife, happy life. I have another one that said, wrong wife, fuck up your life. Because I have a lot of men that I coach, very successful men, who basically destroyed their health, nearly destroyed their health, their finances and everything, because they went in the relationship stupid. There's so many stories I could write books about. The problem is most people, men, tend to come when they're burning, you know, when they're like burning down, everything is in shit, then they come and get help. Not when maybe they see there's a little fire that I could resolve. So I hope you are more clever. So here you see some impressions. We are a very small group, 3 persons, maximum 4, 3 days we spend there intensive on all this stuff. This is Philip, one entrepreneur I coached last year. He was a basic playboy, very successful in his life, made a lot of money, but he only had affairs, fucking around, and he felt very unsatisfied in his life. And he now, like three months later, now found a woman he really loves and appreciates, and spends great time with her. This is Marcel, the CEO from Samsung, under chapter. I think it's one of my biggest cases because he would get insane without me. He shouted so many times on the phone at me. So, but it's good that he didn't do it to his wife then, but he kept his sanity, has now become just a father, and it's a newer relationship. And Manuel, I think, is one of my also biggest successes. He doesn't want to show his face because it's a very touchy subject for men. He is an investment banker from Switzerland, and he had the same issue, and he had a lot. This is what we do the first day. People come, he came to the workshop and thought he gets some advice, bring a woman flowers and stuff. And the first day just is with yourself. So it's a very intense thing. So I will deal with you and your parents and stuff. And he had so much hatred against his father in his heart that there was, the heart is like a case. If there's just hatred in it, you don't have room for love. So she hadn't had a single good relationship in his whole life up to this point. But we dissolved this hatred on the first day. And after 2 months, after the workshop, he met the girl of his dream, and he now moved in with her and is super happy and has a first very loving relationship with a woman. If you're interested in this, or even if you don't have a girlfriend and want my help, you can contact me, you can scan this barcode, talk to me if you dare. That was so somebody sees you could have problems. This is my website, and this is my email address. You can contact us there. This is one very, very interesting thing, what I think about relationships. That's my core belief. Relationship can be the fastest way to enlightenment there is. Your partner will bring up any unhealed old wounds, childhood trauma, anything you haven't properly dealt with. It's like a washing machine. He brings all the bullshit up, all the trigger points. And we are humans, we are so funny. We are perfect in seeking out the person who triggers us just the right way. Just the right way that we go off the rails. We have a sensor for this shit. So and we will repeat this circle every time. So it's a chance for heaven, but most people rather change partners and keep living in hell. Because they ditch the partner, they haven't dealt with the issues, and guess what? After the honeymoon phase, the same shit will come up. So there's women who always end up with an abusive guy or a guy with drug-related problems. Men choose cold, distant women because their mother was cold and distant. There is a pattern here, I just say. And if you don't deal with it, shit, you will always fall in this trap. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Any question or should I
Okay, kannst du die Frage wiederholen?
Ja. When one brave woman is always a woman who speaks enough.
When you say like women are inside, I completely agree on that, and I completely agree that feminism is super against women more than they really
Yes,
about it.
yes.
But also I have like in contradiction with myself because I think that I can be a businesswoman and also a mom and a wife as soon as I'm clear with myself.
Okay.
Do you think this is possible or is just a dream that we come into hell in the future?
Fantastic question. The question is, she agrees with me totally with the insight and the family being the most important thing for a woman, but can she still be a businesswoman and a mother too? Yes, you can. But you can't reach the heights of a man who's dedicated like a CEO. You know, they always say, it's patriarchy keeping women down. No, the life is compromised. If I want to have, like playing tennis, it's for every day 2-3 hours, I can be a businessman too, but I cannot be so successful. So it's just a deal you have to make with yourself and say, okay, my goal is not to be a super successful CEO, pipapo. I just want to have my own side hustle where I earn a little bit, contribute to the family. I would even recommend that because nowadays we don't need a dedicated housewife at home. It's stupid. When you have washing machines, you have everything, you will get bored out. So you can contribute to the family and your husband will most of the time be happy to it. Yeah?
Thank you very much.
Another question? Yeah, man, brave.
Most of the mammals are not monogamous. So,
Yes.
Why do you think we humans are monogamous?
Fantastic question. And I had it in my presentation, but then I put it out as one rule because I thought maybe this is a little bit too much for the people. So there is this one, the question was most of the men are not monogamous. Women are also not so monogamous.
Mammals.
Mammals, you said, okay. But men far more non-monogamous than women.
In nature, being monogamous is very real.
Yes. And this is another one, very touchy and very difficult topic for couples that's so taboo that you don't even talk about it. There is many ways you can conquer this without people, when I say I live in an open relationship, everybody thinks, woo, I'm fucking around and all the time and no rules and everybody does what he does. But I don't know a single open relationship where it is this way. There's many ways you can deal with it. It is a lie and it puts strength on the relationship that you can have a 20-year relationship and always fiery sex and you just have to learn this trick and that trick and this. This is a lie. So you can either decide that you will stay monogamous your whole life and just have less sex most of the time, yeah? That's generality. Or you find ways together with your partner. How I joked, my talk will be swinging for entrepreneurs. That was just a joke, but now it gets in this direction. So there are so many ways, like we can talk personally, how you can deal with this issue without having like a no rules attached relationship. Because most couples want something in the middle. They don't want an open relationship, but they don't want to be 100% monogamous either. That's the reality. Okay, now, one last? No, okay, thank you very much.